4th chapter of that same Luke. I'm going to read this from the Bible so I can be a little quiet on my voice. 4th chapter, 14th verse. And Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit. 14th verse says, and he came to Nazareth. This is after he'd been up there with God, because when you've been with God, you come back with something. I hear what I said. When you've been with God, you come back with something. See, that's one of those old trademarks. That's why when people see you've been to church, they look at you. You've been to church? Yeah. Then they look to see what you came back with. Because you can't be with God and be around God and not come back with something. It is a total waste of your time to come out here every Sunday and go back the way you came. Just same honored, same mad, same ticked off. It didn't do no good for me. Are you out of your mind? You're going to walk out of here today, some of you, you're going to go and tell the devil, okay, come on, punk. That's what you're going to say. You're not going to even realize it. But you got to come back in a week from now to get equipped with what you're talking about. I got to talk to you about healing. Because when you say, come on, he's going to say, okay, come on. And they're going to put death in your face instead of sickness. Don't you know Satan knows when you go to church? I don't care about everybody else around you taking a nap. Let them go to sleep. This is that. They're part of your wilderness. Some of you brought wilderness people to church with you. And so now it says he came there and he was back full of power. And when he came from Nazareth, he had been brought up. And as was the custom, he went into the synagogue, went on down to the church, and he stood there to read. And there was delivered unto him a book of the prophet Isaiah, which is Isaiah. And he opened up the book and he found the place where it was written. Then he said, now, listen, I've been out there. And he is a man. He is a man now. He's a man, but he's about to make this proclamation. He said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me. Hath means he has. He has anointed me. Before I could talk like anybody else making a speech. But now I've been given the power to speak through clouds, speak through frown faces, speak through folk ignoring me, speak through people that not want to talk about it, speak sometimes when they don't want to be heard. You're going to have to be anointed to speak what God says speak, because when you speak what God says speak, you will not only be unpopular, you will be on the hit list, you will be on the hated list, you will be on the seek to destroy list, you will be on the list that we found to be stolen from. You will be on the accused list. You will be on the depressed list. You will be on the discouragement list, because when you speak, you just showed up for the fight of your life. That's one of the reasons people, and I've learned, I know why people don't want to work with our young people, because it's hard to work with young people, because if you're going to speak to young people, you got to speak to destiny. And sometimes parents don't see destiny, they just see diapers. And I'll be the first to tell you, there was a time I just finished working with young people. I said, God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. God said, you have no choice. You've been anointed to. You just have to make a decision. Because I know when you work with children, you're going to anger people. Because destiny is in those children. The future is in those children. The faith of God is in those children. That's why they rebel. That's why they fight, because they're at a stage now where they say, if I don't stand up against God now, I'm going to lose. And they want to stand up against God. They want to stand up against the man of God. And you can't stand up against the devil if you're not anointed. But he said, after he came out of the wilderness, I'm going to change the word. I'm going to keep the word the same, but I'm going to put it like this. For after he came out of surgery, after he came through his divorce, no, after he got evicted, after he lost his job, after he totaled his car, after his house burned down, after he had a miscarriage, after the child was aborted, after he had been arrested, after he murdered somebody. Oh, now it's getting quiet. See, wilderness is a good word, but when I start talking about all the things that wilderness look like, now it sounds specific. So after your junk comes your anointing. And some of you are running from that junk so you don't get your anointing. So you're trying to bypass the junk and act anointed, and you still got to face the devil. And you still got to do what God has anointed you to do or chosen you to do. Now you're just trying to do it without power. And I wish I could just break out in a run right now. But God told me to just preach the word to you this morning. Will you tell somebody, I've still got to do what I was assigned to do? But now I've got to decide, am I going to do it with power or not? Come here right quick, sir, right quick, right there. Right quick. I don't mean to embarrass you, but God's moving on point right now. And I don't know, have you ever been to church here before? You, okay, stand right here. Okay, now stand right here. Can you sing at all? Okay, that's okay. That qualifies you to be a choir member. Good. Did you hear the choir sing this morning? Yeah. Okay, I want you to sing one of those songs. Ready? When I point to, just sing any one of them you wanted to. Do the last one, Addicted to You. Ready? Go.
I'm addicted to you.
Keep going.
I'm addicted to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm addicted to you.
Okay, you already said that. Go on to the next one. I'm going to give you the next word. You don't know it, do you? You know why you don't know it? Because you haven't been in rehearsal, right? You were willing to sing, but you haven't been in rehearsal. See, that's a lot of folks. They want to sing, but they don't want to rehearse. You want the opportunity, but you don't want the wilderness. See, rehearsal is like a wilderness. You got to go through some things to prove that at least you're qualified. If you don't have all the words, you at least understand some of the words. Good job. You did great. You did great. Sit on down, man. I'm talking about, looking like Smokey Robinson over there. I don't know who that was. That's Smokey brother right now. That's I'm an encourager. I can encourage without being on the team. Not here, you can't. Your life is an encouragement. But sometimes you want to run past the training. You got to go through the wilderness part. And sometimes the leadership of going through wilderness shows you how to deal with people that you don't know how to deal with. He had to learn how to deal with a Satan that he had never had to deal with before as a man. Yeah, you can get folk told, but you've never known how to get folk told as a Christian. Because as a Christian, sometimes God said, don't get them told, listen to them. No, Lord, I don't play. No. I've been my own person for years. Is this word blessing anybody? It's time for you to start running to the fight. That's what it's time to do. And I can see it. The fire is in you. But God said just light the spark. You didn't even have to start the fire, Rickie. It's already started. They just been hit by so much cold weather. They don't know they got the fire there. So he said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to preach the gospel to the poor. He had sent me to heal the brokenhearted. Now watch this before we go home. To preach deliverance to the captives. All that stuff now, when he comes down, he's able to do all of this. But before, he couldn't do all of this because he didn't have the anointing for it. Some of you, he had the ability, but not the anointing. Now hear me. I'm not, see, because a lot of people listen to me right now. I can do that. Yes, you can. And you can do better than anybody. But you're a motivated speaker. That's what you are. And motivative speakers speak to motivative audiences. You know, you want to hear me speak because I'm a motivator. And when you invited me out here, you knew I would motivate you. Well, the anointing has you to talk to people that are not motivated. People all the time ask me about, and I'm not saying some of you are public, whatever I just said. You are that, and that's good. Motivated speaker. I'm not down in that. And don't come up to me saying, what you got against motivation? Man, I just want to put some anointing on your motivation. And what I want to do is make sure that you don't act like an anointed motivated speaker. Because a motivated speaker can listen to the anointing and sound like an anointed speaker.